I want to hear you. I don't want to participate in this.
I mean, I don't want to participate in this.
You don't want to, but you're not going to say that. Or say, I will not participate in this. Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome back to the channel. We've been on a little bit of a hiatus for the summer months there, but we're back at it. I'm back on the streets. We're going to try ourselves a diamond today, and then at the end, I'm also going to do a change my mind sign slash, I don't have a table here, but it's like a change my mind table that you often see with Joey Carbstrong and Steven Crowder and all those personalities. One thing I want to ask all of you is, when you're doing outreach, before you head out on the streets, do you listen to music to get yourself in the mood? I just had a little bit of an experiment where I decided to listen to a little bit of Linkin Park. I haven't listened to them for decades, but I had an old CD, threw it in the CD player on my way out here, and I feel amped. I feel ready for some of the outreach today. So I was just wondering if there's any kind of music that you specifically listen to before you go out and do outreach, or any kind of anything else you do. Let me know in the comments down below. Enjoy the show. The scalding bath where they send chickens while they're still alive to go and get their feathers taken off and stuff, right? Yeah. It's the cruelty in it. They hang them upside down, and that's factory farming, right?
Yeah.
Are you kind of aware of what happens in a factory farm?
Yeah, it's pretty awful.
Do you think it's what is it?
It's pretty awful. Yeah.
Do you consume any animal products?
Yeah.
Yeah. Have you ever considered like not participating in that if you find it to be awful?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I've gone through periods where I haven't eaten meat. I have low iron right now, so I'm eating meat. So.
Oh, okay. Yeah, and I think that's a lot of people that say that they have low iron. Have you got your iron tested, or?
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, so are you anemic then? Right. That's what it is. I think they call it. So like, do you consume dairy?
Sometimes. Yeah.
I don't know, a lot of people don't know this, but dairy actually inhibits your ability to absorb iron.
Yeah.
So if you're eating dairy, and especially if you have low levels to begin with, just cut out the dairy, and then your levels will come up.
Yeah.
Obviously, you know why we're kind of here, right? We're promoting like veganism, like we're promoting stopping participating in all this kind of violence and cruelty, right? Would you consider this to be cruelty and violence?
Yeah.
Yeah. What would be the biggest hurdle other than like your iron levels to stopping this?
I mean, there's no, like, I'm pretty flexible, like,
Yeah. Do you think like animals are sentient? Do you think that they want to be in these situations or be born into that? Like, you know, would you consider this to be like exploitation of an animal?
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
Like exploiting, like just taking them and using them as an object as opposed to like living beings who want to live.
Yeah.
Right? And you know that obviously when you buy a meal, every time this has to happen on your behalf, right?
Yeah, but I mean, yeah, I mean, I'm sort of, I'm not certain consumer choice is the answer. I feel like if there's regulations that are allowing this to happen,
yeah,
it should be changed. Like, I don't think it's individual choice that's causing climate change. I think it's corporations.
And who do the corporations serve?
The capitalists.
And who do the capitalists serve in total? Well, they do, but who do they use? And I mean, like, so for instance, if I want a pair of jeans, somebody's going to say, oh, he wants that pair of jeans, I'm going to make that. And then this person says, I want that pair of jeans, so they're going to supply and demand, right? Do you think supply and demand is kind of a economics, right? Like with going not into too depth of a conversation here, you know, yeah, it's supply and demand, right? You know?
Exists,
yeah.
But I don't, like, ultimately, in terms of, like, if someone doesn't want to buy from Walmart because they're shit corporations, they do terrible things, but they're the only place they can afford.
Right.
Like, it's kind of shitty to be like, oh, you're making a bad choice.
Right, Right, so you make the best choices you can given the circumstances, right?
Yeah.
So what is, like, now relating that back to this, right? If we have an alternative to factory farming and to free range horrors and all that kind of stuff, why wouldn't we choose that instead of paying for this? When we do have a legit, like, option B.
Yeah.
So like, why wouldn't you choose option B every day then?
I mean, I can. I'm not against it.
Yeah.
I
Just not sold on the idea of it.
No, it's not that I'm not sold. I have been vegan. I would be vegan. It's not. It's just like I don't think it's. I don't think just individual people making, like, I guess it could work and it would have to be a mass movement, but in order for it to be a mass movement, like,
just like any other injustice we've had in the past, right? You know, slavery, you know, trying to fight for freedoms for slaves. They started off with one person, and then became two, and then became four, and then pretty much nowadays we have that ability to say that, you know, we're as a collective society, we're against racism, we're against anti-homosexuality, we're against all these other injustices in the world, right? It's the same thing with factory farming, right? It's never going to stop. Like we can't petition governments because, you know, the special interests like the beef and dairy industry, they're so big. They have so much money, so much pull.
Yeah.
Do you think that the politicians are going to automatically just, you know, stop it or pass laws?
So I'm a socialist. I was actually just over there selling papers.
Oh, okay.
But I think like as a socialist, what we're fighting for is like strikes, like mass movements that would lead to like the socialist transformation of society.
Absolutely.
So like in the event of something like that, this could be something that democratically won't be decided of, like, we're not treating animals.
Discriminate against,
no, I totally understand. Like it's a socialist movement, absolutely, from the ground up, basically, as opposed to the top down and trickle down effect. That's kind of what we're trying to accomplish, right?
Absolutely.
So we need everybody on our side who is of open mind and who's willing to see this as an injustice and wants us to stop, to not only just join us or stop participating in us, but to also join the movement and join us on the streets, because that's the only way we're going to grow this movement. That's why we have vegan food trucks right here, right? It's not because the corporations said, oh, let's just try this thing out. It's because people demanded it. They said, you know what, we want to eat this kind of food. We don't want the stuff, you know, we don't want McDonald's on the corner, right?
I get it.
But it's, like, I don't know. That's the only point I can really make about that. But
I get it. It's hard work being out here. And
it is. It is.
Yeah.
So I mean, like, I guess the only point out there I can reinforce is just as long as you're buying this, when you don't actually have a need to do this, you're funding that animal abuse, right?
Yeah.
Like, I don't have any hate for you. Like, I was vegan for 30 years. Or sorry, I was non-vegan for 30 years. And then 8 years ago, I made the switch, right? I said, I can't participate in this. I don't want to be that guy that's paying for that piglet to get their head smashed in, right? Like you already said, like, it's awful, right? So when good people see awful things, they have two choices to make. Either just put the blinders on, right? Or they say, you know what, I'm done with this. I'm stopping it like right now. So could you say that? Could you say that right now? So say it. I want to hear you, man. I want to hear you. I don't want to participate in this.
I mean, I don't want to participate in it.
You don't want to, but you're not going to say that. Or say, I will not participate in this. Because every day you don't say those words, I will not participate in this, this is happening on your behalf.
I understand.
And you know what, like, veganism is not about being perfect. Like, I mean, you're probably thinking in the back of your head somewhere back there, like, you're probably just reserving a little bit from me and not telling me what the truth is. You're probably saying, oh, I'm gonna have to go to that birthday party on Saturday, and then they're probably gonna serve burgers and I'm probably gonna have one. Or, you know, I'm just gonna be so in a rush, I'm not even gonna think about what vegan option is out there. I just want the closest thing, right? Is that kind of the truth, or?
I mean, it's part of it, for sure.
Yeah, it's just the convenience factor, right? That there are options that are not vegan that are a lot better and quicker than vegan options. Is that what you?
Yeah.
Would you agree with that statement?
I mean, like, not all meat comes from factory farming.
You're right. About 95 to 97%.
The vast majority does.
Pretty much everything you see in the supermarkets is factory farmed, right? Because there wouldn't be any other way to do it. We would just need 3 or 4 earths in order to do it like the organic way, right? Or free range way.
Yeah.
But the thing is that a lot of these videos we're showing on these screens are from free range farms. They go to the same slaughterhouse. They just go in a different entrance. But the same exact cruelty and abuse happens to them. Even though they get to eat green grass, you know, a couple of months out of the year. Doesn't matter if they're treated well, if they give them back rubs, if they have their own personal masseuse. At the end of the day, they're only babies being killed. They're only like 2 years old for cows and only like a couple months old in a free range farm. And they're still getting a knife across the throat and killed against their will.
Yeah, there's also the fact that like 58% of the food goes to waste that's produced in Canada isn't even eaten.
And a lot of people come by here and they say, oh, well, I respect my animals. Well, yeah, you just threw out like how much of that animal, you let it go to waste. Is that respect to begin with? Let alone letting them die in the first place, right? Or, you know, like the dairy industry, for instance, you know, like they're showing that right now. It's pretty graphic, but you know, a mother bond with her child is pretty strong. Do you think it's just reserved for humans? It's reserved for all animals, including dairy industry, right? Often what they'll do is they'll forcefully pregnate a female mother, steal her baby after 9 months. They're pregnant for 9 months and then they take her off. Could you imagine being separated from your mom right after you were born because somebody wants to drink your mom's milk? Do you think that would be justified? That is the dairy industry, right there. They even call those rape racks. It's sexual abuse. And we wonder why there's so much sexism in the world. It starts on how we treat the most innocent animals in our society.
Yeah, well, I'll think about what you said. And
Yeah.
I mean, I make a lot of vegan choices in my life. I'm not vegan, but
Yeah, and I totally understand, like, you're not going to be perfect. You know, nobody's perfect. But the best thing you can do for the animals right now is have them in the forefront of your mind when you're making your decisions at the supermarket, okay? Obviously not going to zoos. Like, those are other things we don't do either, but everybody has to eat 3 times a day, and that's 3 chances each day that you can make the right choice for the animals, okay? I'm gonna give you a card.
Yeah.
Some really great documentaries, not just this stuff, but other ones as well, that'll kind of help you out. If you put in the code there, it's EDMVO, like EDMVO,
Okay.
and it'll give you some more choices to make a more informed choice.
all right, well, take care.
What's your name?
Yeah, a little thing about iron as well. My fiance is a nutritionist. You might already know this, but if you want help absorbing iron, a little vitamin C, like some citrus juice or something, can help with iron absorption.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, just
Great point.
little tip.
That's awesome. I'll remember that one too.
All right.
What was your name?
I'm Claire.
Hi, Claire. My name is Adam. It was nice to meet you, Claire. Thanks for the awesome chat. Hey, you're back, man.
I disagree.
You disagree? Oh, awesome. Do you want to chat it out? No. What's your reason for disagreeing?